Welcome to The Compass, a show where we discuss today's world from a Christian perspective. I'm Luke Staton.
And I'm Bella Hanzel. Today's show is about health and wellness. Let's dive in.
Nutrition is an important part of our health, and we often try to control the nutrition we get through diets. Vegetarian, vegan, and keto diets, to name a few, have become quite popular in recent years. Scientists have done research to understand what drives these dietary choices, and the reasons can be as cultural, biological, or as they are nutritional. Matthew Ruby and his colleagues found that the reasoning behind dietary choices varies from culture to culture, with Indian cultures more focused on environmental effects, while Euro-American cultures are more compassion-driven.
Scientists have also postulated that gender might play a role in how people choose their diets. Although it is often cited that men are more likely to reject vegetarianism than women, this statistic can change when people do not conform to the traditional societal stereotypes of their gender. For example, a male who is seen as a manly by American standards may stick to a meat-based diet, though a male who is less concerned about these standards would be more open to cutting meat out. The reasoning behind choosing a diet can also vary between genders. Men are more likely to switch off for meat for environmental reasons, while women are often concerned more about health.
However, no matter what one's gender or cultural background is, we all tend to overestimate how impactful our diets actually are. The American Society for Nutrition found that 85% of almost 1,000 participants inaccurately assessed their nutritional health. 99% of these inaccurate assessments were too favorable. The American Society for Nutrition also noted that people who had the most accurate assessments of their nutrition were also the most critical of their diets.
Although we Americans can overestimate how healthy our lifestyles are, it should not be hard to readjust. However, college students in particular can have trouble with managing a healthy nutritional balance. With little money and having to rely on campus cafeterias and restaurants, college students have little control over what they eat, and the options they do have are not always healthy. They often must consume copious amounts of caffeine to keep up with the rigorous study habits, which can also throw their bodies off balance. College students must be especially wary when they eat because it can be easy to build up bad habits that follow them later in life.
With more on this topic, we have Michaela Carr talking about nutrition and caffeine consumption in college.
Nutrition is vital to physical, mental, and emotional health, especially for college students. Healthy eating fuels their bodies and sets them up to succeed in college life.
It definitely affects students physically and mentally because what you eat really determines how you feel.
The Freshman 15 is a cautionary tale about nutrition and college. Your body is under a lot of stress from new environments and different eating habits, which can cause you to gain weight.
Eating at a college campus with commercial foods is really hard, I guess, on the student athlete because you don't get the vegetables that you would prefer to have.
Healthy eating is not about dieting or counting calories, but filling your body with the nutrients it needs. It is important to eat more vegetables and reduce the sugar and processed foods you consume.
I think having a nutritionist available for everyone and not just a student here just telling people what they should do.
Exercise is also essential for your overall health, which goes hand in hand with the foods you eat. A study done by Clinical Nutrition showed caffeine was consumed by 92% of students. Among these students, caffeine addiction abounds. Students are almost always exhausted and believe that drinking more caffeine is the way to fix that.
It's not that consuming caffeine is necessarily bad, it's when you consume it in excess.
Nutritional knowledge is also an issue among many college students. Knowledge is power. It is hard to eat well when you are not aware of what you're putting in your body and how it affects you. Taking care of your body can make or break your experience in college. Make sure you're checking out every option that your school has to offer to fuel your body well. This is Michaela Carr reporting for mcSWU.
Thank you, Michaela. After the break, we have a Student Athletic Advisory Committee representative, Sam Limehouse, to talk about nutrition. Later, we will go to the street to see how college students manage their mental health.
Wait. Did you see the red light?
What red light?
Do you think you may need to pull over?
We are a mile away from my apartment. Let's just get back and it'll all be okay.
Don't fuss at
Sorry,
me.
okay? I'm sorry.
What if the cops come?
The great state of South Carolina thinks I'm such a great driver, okay?
Get out the wheel!
Welcome back from the break. I'm here with Sam Limehouse, the SAC representative for Southern Wesleyan. We're here to ask him some questions about food, health, and college. How are you today, Sam?
I'm good. Look, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good.
That's great.
What are some of the ways you have helped our college to ensure student athletes are provided with the means for a well-balanced diet?
So one thing different that we're doing this year is having a full-time nutritionist on campus that each team and each student athlete is able to have access to.
Well, that's huge. What are some of the biggest challenges that come up with keeping up with your health and diet as a college student?
So obviously, as just any person, we want to have those sugar. I know I have a sweet tooth, so you want to treat yourself every now and then. But as an athlete, we know we have to be disciplined and treat our bodies to be able to perform at our best during our sport.
In your opinion, what are some of the unhealthiest nutrition habits college students have that they should be wary about?
I mean, like, I can speak for myself. Like, I know I have a sweet tooth. I know I like to have some late night snacks, but I also know I have to get up early the next day to perform at my best. So just be completely aware of what I should put into my body to perform at my best.
And what are some ways college students can stay healthy living on campus?
Just be completely self-aware of what you're eating in the cab, what you're eating in the grill. No, everybody loves Blue Hill, but just be completely aware of what you need to be putting in your body and have that discipline to be able to perform at your best.
I know I'm guilty of that. Thank you so much, Sam. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Luke.
After the break, Addison Boggs goes to the street to ask people about how they manage their mental health. Then, Professor Hayduck will tell us about how college students can better manage their mental health. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Madeline Barrett. I am a Southern Wesleyan graduate, class of 2021. I majored in media communication in a concentration of public relation. I am currently at the reserves at Lake QE here at the sales office. I work with Coldwell Banker Kane. This original position was part-time, and then my supervisor saw my resume and saw all of the things that I've done at Southern Wesleyan, including hosting a number of talk shows, creating an Instagram account for our communications department, and she thought, wow, you just have blown me away with all of these amazing things you've been a part of, and I want to offer you a full-time position here. Southern Wesleyan invested in me, and I got a return on my investment.
We're back with more from the Compass. With all this talk about nutrition and health, it has me wondering, Bella, what kind of things do you do to stay healthy?
Well, personally, I do eat meat, and I play soccer here at mcSWU, which helps with my cardiovascular health, and I try to go to the gym every day.
Awesome.
How about you?
I try to go to the gym a lot. I play baseball, but I actually really enjoy running. That's what I tend to do on my free time every weekend or whenever I get a chance if I'm not too tired. But I do like an occasional Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. Now we go to Addison Boggs on the street as she asks our student body about how they can manage their mental health.
Thanks, Bella. So many students struggle with their own health and wellness. So today, we're going around campus here to see how our students maintain their health and wellness. Let's go. What is your favorite way to manage stress?
My favorite way to manage stress is pray and like run my sport, do track.
Go for a walk, listen to music, talk to people, socialize.
Typically, I like to lay in the grass, just kind of, my friends call it grounding, just like connecting back to the ground and just like kind of let it all go back in.
Going to sleep.
I like to go and take naps at Potter's Place.
Go out for a run.
Just to read my Bible and spend time with friends.
How many hours of sleep a night would you say produces a good amount of rest?
I think I've been told 8.
For me personally, I would say a good 10.
8 would be fantastic.
I would say at least 8 hours of sleep.
6 to 8 hours.
10.
I think it depends on the person. I know for me, I can feel rested after maybe 5 hours, but someone might need like a total of 8 hours. Some people can just take a 20-minute power nap and they're ready to go.
Do you drink caffeine, and if so, how much?
This is a bad question. I drink a lot of caffeine. I think I've gone above the legal limit before.
No, I don't drink caffeine.
I drink a lot of caffeine. Like probably like 9 cups of coffee a day.
2 bottles of Coke every day.
No coffee?
No coffee at all.
I do drink caffeine, but I would say only about maybe twice a week.
I would say like 3 times or 2 times a week.
Lastly, what does mental health mean to you?
Mental health means just taking care of everything, like all your essentials, you know.
Just be considerate of others.
Mental health is something that we have to take care of just as much as like physical health.
To some people it's important, but to me I just want to be considerate.
Mental health is doing what you need to do to, you know, keep it together. Whether that's like taking a nap or dropping a class.
I think it's really important for people who might be feeling a certain way to go get counseling. I think everyone should get some sort of counseling.
Thank you for joining us on this week's edition of Students Say. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Addison. We would love to hear about your favorite ways to manage stress on our Instagram and Facebook accounts. When we return from the break, we will hear from Professor Hayduck on mental health and psychology as a whole. And later, we will cover how phone usage can affect one's mental health.
Wake up and focus. Because this is not a drill. This is not about cliches, shallow taglines, or some inspirational quote for you to tweet, snap, pin, or post. No, this is where snooze buttons are frozen. Alarm clocks are broken, where feet hit the floor because dreams are now woken. This is it. Awaken your dreams. Awaken your soul. Awaken your purpose. This is Southern Wesleyan University.
This is what winners are made of. This is what leaders are made of. This is what scholars are made of. This is what believers are made of. This is what warriors are made of.
Welcome back to The Compass. I am here with the psychology professor, Dr. Hayduck, to get to know more about mental health in college. How are you today, Dr. Hayduck?
Doing pretty well, thank you.
Awesome, I'm glad to hear it. What is your experience with psychology and more specifically mental health as a whole?
I am a professionally trained psychologist, although my field is more in the research side of things. So I do research in the area of mental health, training in mental health, but I don't provide a lot of direct services myself.
Okay, gotcha. So with your research, what do you believe that are the biggest problems with mental health on a college campus?
I'd categorize it in 4 areas. Number 1 is stress, and anybody who's been on a college campus knows about stress. And that often leads to mental health issues, specifically in the area of anxiety, depression, and suicidal thinking.
How about screen time? How do you think that has an impact on someone's mental health?
Screen time can be a useful technological tool if you're in the right virtual community. So if you're in a community that's supportive, then the screen time can be helpful. But you'll recognize that there's a lot of virtual communities where it's not necessarily that supportive, or people are trying to portray themselves in a particular way in their best image, or engage in some negative comments and those types of things. So in those situations, more screen time produces more stress, more anxiety, more depression, etc.
Yeah, nowadays it's all digital, like all of our Canvas notifications and everything, like we have to be on our screens. What changes can college students make to improve their daily lives and improve their mental health from your perspective?
Well, you mentioned or suggested one thing right there, and that is probably to get off our devices, avoid technology and reconnect with nature, those types of things. Connecting with people, not virtually or digitally, but connecting with them in person is another important factor. And the third is, I would say, engage in self-care. Take care of yourself. Eat properly, sleep properly, which is not always that good for college students. Physical exercise, those combinations of things, avoiding technology, reconnecting with nature, connecting with people, self-care, all those help to combat stress and to combat anxiety, depression.
Awesome. Thank you so much for speaking with us, Dr. Hayduck. We really appreciate it.
Very welcome.
After the break, we will get a more in-depth perspective on how phone usage can affect one's health. Welcome back from the break. We live in a digital age where the internet is becoming more prevalent part of our daily lives. Our phones give us access to the internet anytime and anywhere. In 2021, 85% of Americans reported owning a smartphone, and this rises to 96% for 18 to 29-year-olds. As smartphone ownership increases in America, many wonder if it's possible that we are becoming too dependent on our phones.
In 2022, 81% of smartphone users from ages 18 to 29 reported that they believe that they spend too much time on their phones, up from 58% in 2015. 64% of the same demographic reported that they could not imagine life without their smartphone, furthering concerns about the negative effects of phone usage.
We now go to Zachary Turner, who is researching the increasing amount of time we spend on our phones.
How much are you truly on your phone? In this digital age, our eyes are ever increasingly drawn to screens. Despite their definitive usefulness, have we stopped to consider the impacts it has on your health?
Excessive screen time can lead to mental health problems like anxiety, depression, and increased stress levels.
Nonetheless, one of the biggest problems is issues of comparison to others and influencers. It can result in body issues, especially among women.
Social media can influence our self-perception by presenting curated and idealized versions of ourselves.
Our phones are filled with technology that feeds us more of what we are looking for, and that can lead us to unhealthy behaviors. Teens and young adults are at a much higher risk.
I get on my phone without realizing it a lot. I think when I'm bored, I'll just pick up my phone, check my texts, check my Snapchats, check my notifications, just to be on it when I could be doing other things.
This problem is not exclusive to a certain age group.
Disconnected. I think that would be the word that I would use when I'm on it a lot. It's a disconnect from reality.
It is important to set limits. Simply being aware of your screen time could be a good first step in finding ways to decrease it.
It's very important to approach phone usage with a mindful and balanced perspective.
You might find it helpful to model the behavior you would like to see, which may mean putting down the phone yourself. This is Zach for mcSWU.
Thank you, Zach. Luke, do you personally try to manage your screen time phone usage?
I've tried to. There's settings on your phone where you can get certain hours usage, but I always bypass it and tend to be on my phone longer than I probably should be.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
How about you?
I don't really try to. I feel like I should more, but I feel like it impacts your mental health a lot more than people realize. I think mental health as a whole is very important, and I feel like men especially don't like to come forward because they want to have the more manly role and be a provider and protector. And I've seen it on both sides, obviously both genders, but I feel like it is an extremely important thing to dissect that people don't talk about enough.
I agree.
What do you think? Thank you so much for joining us here on The Compass. Join us next week as we talk about technology.